What is vulnerable in Diablo 4? Vulnerable is a status effect in the game that makes a target, an enemy, or a player take more damage from all sources. It increases the damage taken by 20% for a certain duration. It is also one of the most impactful status effects in the game because it can help you to temporarily deal more damage to enemies, but it can also make them more vulnerable to enemy attacks. There is no way to remove the vulnerable effect once you or enemies have it, although you can help power through it by using a barrier or fortify. It will take 20% more damage against their protection, but at least this will help you to survive. Most of the time, vulnerable only lasts for a few seconds, meaning that a little defensive behavior during this time will not take you out of the combat game long. Vulnerable can be applied by both the player and the enemies. Different classes have different ways of inflicting vulnerable on their target. Some skill, item, passive, and aspect can cause this effect. Here are some examples of skill, passive, and aspect related to the vulnerable status effect. When players inflict vulnerable to an enemy, the enemy's health bar will glow purple, and a yellow color vulnerable text will appear on the screen, indicating that the enemy is now affected by the vulnerable status. On the other hand, when you are vulnerable, you will see this reflected in your health globe. The globe surface appear cracked. This can overlay other globe conditions as well. And here are some examples. Vulnerable can be exploited by players to deal more damage to their enemies. Some skill, item, passive, glyph, and paragon node can greatly benefit from this effect, but some legendary aspect can also enhance this effect. And keep an eye out for gear that can greatly boost your damage output through vulnerable stat rolls such as increased vulnerable damage. You can safely disregard applying vulnerable to enemies while you are leveling or going through the campaign, but once you have entered the Nightmare and Torment difficulties, this status element will become almost mandatory. Okay guys and girls, I hope that this video will help you guys to have a better understanding of the vulnerable mechanic. Thanks for watching, good luck, have fun, and see you guys in the game. Ta-ta!